Good morning and welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday Service. It is well that you have come. My name is Nicoya Helm, and I'm an associate teacher here at Temple Buddhist Center, which we also affectionately refer to as TBC, and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope that this morning finds you happy and healthy, but please know that if you are struggling in some way, we hope that Temple Buddhist Center and this community can be a source of refuge for you, and our hearts are open to you and your loved ones. We are excited to be able to celebrate in person together, and we want to do so as safely as possible. Masks are recommended, and tolerance and respect are encouraged. We appreciate your part in helping to keep our entire Sangha safe and healthy. So let's begin this morning with some conscious breathing. And conscious breathing, it helps us take a few moments to ground and become even more fully present to this moment and to experience the mind and the body more fully together. So conscious breathing is where we seal the mouth, breathe in deeply and openly through the nose, pause for a moment before releasing slowly so that the exhale becomes longer than the inhale. And of course, adapting this as you need, as is right for you in this moment. So let's begin. Inviting in a nice open in-breath. Pausing for a moment, feeling the fullness of the lungs, the entire torso, before releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, being aware of what's present and alive right now, letting the energy flow and settle. And when you're ready, a second conscious breath, inviting fresh oxygen in to energize, ventilating and sustaining this precious human form, perhaps pausing, and then releasing slowly. And as you release, see if you can release worry or concerns about the past or the future, letting go of the energy of doing, striving, shifting, accomplishing, and just allowing yourself to settle into the energy of being. And when you're ready, a third conscious breath, allowing the breath to enter your entire being fully. Pausing and then releasing even more fully, inviting into your awareness the completeness of this present moment, of the here and the now. Once again, welcome. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin our services with some chanting. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer. It is about having a voice and bringing those voices together in sacred connection and community. Our chant today is Om Shanti Satchitananda. Om Shanti Satchitananda, which in Sanskrit celebrates and connects us to truth, consciousness, and bliss. So I invite Rochelle to tone us in as we chant together. Om Shanti Satchitananda. 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 Shanti Sachitananda. Om 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 Shanti Sachitananda. One more time. Om Shanti Sachitananda. We want to welcome you again to the service and make sure that you feel welcome by letting you know that there are listening devices available in the back of the room, cough drops, tissues. We have cushions available at the front and blankets to adjust temperature. So we invite you to make yourselves at home. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we practice Western Buddhism. This is a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, alive, inclusive, and it focuses on core Buddhist insights, mindfulness, meditation, and their practical application to our daily life. Our goal here isn't to get everyone to agree on one particular lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. So whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you'll participate at the level that feels comfortable and right for you. Here at the Temple Buddhist Center, we take refuge in the three jewels, and we acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind. And these jewels are the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And the Buddha represents not just the historical Buddha and the teachings associated with that historical presence, but awareness of our own Buddha nature, the Buddha nature of all beings, which allows us a fresh new perspective of this and each and every present moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, or the wisdom teachings. These teachings help release us from fear and delusion and help us realize the true nature of who we are, that Buddha nature. And finally, last but definitely not least, is Sangha, or sacred community. And this is an essential part of our growth where we practice the teachings together and support each other along every step of our journey. And so let's take a moment with those jewels in mind to silence any electronic devices. We especially want to welcome those who are joining from home and encourage you to silence whatever you can in your home environment. Settle in, create a meditative space as much as is possible. And we'll begin now with the prayer of refuge, which we will recite 3 times together in honor of the 3 jewels. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we enter a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then you are invited to practice in that way. And if you are new to meditation, we will begin with an opening dedication. We'll sound the bell 3 times, again in honor of the 3 jewels. And then Victor, our director and one of our most precious teachers here, will offer a short guidance that will help settle us into noble silence, where we will spend approximately 12 to 15 minutes. Let's begin by taking a conscious breath together. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And so as the sound of the bell decays, guiding us, showing us the way into stillness. If you need to take another conscious breath or 2 or adjust the posture, whatever is necessary to partner with the body to become more gentle, to relax a little more with each out-breath. To bring spaciousness and ease to the body. And as the breath settles into its natural flow, its natural rhythm, there's no need to manipulate the breath any longer. Just be aware of the rise and the fall of the tummy with each in-breath and out-breath. And so connected to the breath, the body is gentle, easy, relaxed. We can bring our awareness now to awareness itself. Noticing what enters your awareness in each moment. Your mind may become distracted by a sound, perhaps in the room or out in the hallway. When you notice that the mind has attached to a sound, simply use that as a springboard to return gently back to the breath. You may notice that the mind has become aware of a sensation like hot or cold or an itch or an ache. Again, when you become aware of that awareness, gently, lovingly, without any commentary, without any judgment, simply return to the breath, the rise and fall of the tummy. The breath is always in the present moment, and so is a great teacher. You may become aware that the mind has been distracted by a thought. Like the other things, the thoughts just come and go, rise and fall, completely unbidden. When you notice that the mind is attached to a thought, gently, lovingly, simply return to the breath. When we become aware, in any case, of the mind being distracted, it is not an opportunity to judge yourself. It's not an opportunity to punish yourself. It is instead a celebration of awakening. Awakening from the dream of thought. And so, connected to the breath, the body is gentle, spacious. The mind is clear yet receptive to whatever arises. And the heart is open. We can move even more deeply into our meditation. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I am silent. I seek no contact and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. So I invite you to remain in a meditative state as you bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice or the sound of the air handlers or rustling in the room. And as you become aware of sound, at the same time, can you keep 5% of your awareness on that which is silent, on the stillness within? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch as you begin to feel your clothing upon your skin, or the feeling of the chair or the cushion beneath you, points of contact. And as you become aware of the world of form, matter, material, at the same time, can you keep 5% of your awareness on that which is formless, awareness itself? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes, allowing in some light and just letting the images come to you. And as you become aware of objects and things, at the same time, can you keep 5% of your awareness on the space around them, the space in and through them, around this room, around the building, that expansiveness? And next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath as we take a conscious breath together. And as you release, become present in the here, in the now, in this time, in this place. Well, good morning, everyone. A big welcome also to not only everybody here present in our near Sangha, but also a big welcome to those folks joining us from all over the world. We are not only, Temple Buddhist Center is not only international, but it's interspecies, because I know for a fact that many folks' dogs and cats and birds actually watch the service. I'm just so excited this morning. I don't really know why. There are so many reunions today. It's so nice to have Nicoya back with us. We've got friends, Russ and Yulia, visiting us from Germany. We've just got so many reunions, saw Dave, and it's just wonderful. Some friends told me that they're going to be tuning in, they're tailgating out at the Chiefs Stadium today. And so they've got their phone set up, and so they're participating this morning. They did say that they were going to make a slight adjustment to the chant. I think they were doing Mahom Shanti Sat Chitananda. So we welcome awakening in all of its forms. And the joy and the playfulness. So the talk today, the Season for Nonviolence, marks the 64 days between the anniversaries of the deaths of Mohandas Gandhi on January 30th and Martin Luther King Jr. on April 4th. It also includes Cesar Chavez's birthday, which also falls within the season on March 31st. The Season for Nonviolence was co-founded by Arun and Sunanda Gandhi and the Association for Global New Thought in 1998. So it's a fairly young and recent observance. And so some of you may have noticed when you walked in, we're kind of playing a little game today. There are the Gandhi Institute puts out a booklet of the 64 days of the season of nonviolence. And each day is a contemplation or a meditation. And there are some other activities and things on there. And so we placed the cards by the front door. When you came in, if you reached in and just kind of grabbed one, that's fine. If you didn't, no problem. You can take one if you leave. Or this PDF or this booklet is free online. So if you just type in Season for Nonviolence, you'll see the Gandhi Institute and you can download it. So for the teachers and folks with working with children, there's some wonderful activities there. Now, not specifically a Buddhist observance, the Season for Nonviolence, however, is very much Buddhist in spirit and application, so to speak, and is known from the Vedic tradition, which predates Buddhism, but Buddhism is filled with many aspects and elements of the Vedic tradition, as well as Hinduism and Jainism. But it's known in the Sanskrit as ahimsa, ahimsa, which translated means non-injury. So, how then may we honor the season of nonviolence and bring to bear the practice of do no harm? Do no harm. Well, if you are currently hitting anybody with a 2x4, I recommend you maybe stop. That could be a great place to start. But for most of us, there is a much more subtle and immediate way to practice ahimsa, this idea of do no harm. For example, our own thoughts, our own beliefs, our own words and actions are fertile ground for cultivating nonviolence, and indeed is truly the first place to start. Because you see, when we are internally violent towards ourselves, it is very difficult to be genuinely compassionate towards others. Wise speech includes self-talk. So let's discuss wise speech, or as one of the third element on the Noble Eightfold Path known as Samavaka. I want to talk about it today through 5 points. And those 5 points are remembering our true nature, reflection and evaluation, connecting with the body, forgiveness, and joy. So we begin first by remembering the amazing beauty of our true nature, the divine energy that is our source. Unity and Buddhism agree that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, not the other way around. Our practice leads us to identify with the former and bring compassion to the latter. When one has, through conditioning, through all the experiences of life, the difficulties, the challenges, the wounds, when one has learned to view oneself as an object full of shortcomings, an object that is full of past transgressions, dark thoughts, negative concepts, ideas, negativity, bias even. When one views oneself as an object full of those things, it is no wonder that many of us tend to relate to ourselves harshly, or even to the point of developing a degree of self-hatred. And as Jack Kornfield tells us, when we stop the war inside, we stop the wars outside. So let's take a moment and look at an important aspect of our practice: reflection, evaluation. My teacher used to say, take it to the cushion. Oh. When we recall a recent occasion that we said or did something that we wish we hadn't, bring awareness to how you speak to yourself, how these words and phrases arise in the mind's eye. Perhaps words like mistake, you screwed up, that was dumb, oh, how stupid. Or oops, I did it again. I mean, whatever arises, what comes up. And do you see how judgment has clouded our ability to see with the eyes of the divine? Remember what I said earlier. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Judgment clouds our ability to see through the eyes of the beloved, to see ourselves as God sees us, as the universe sees us, whatever name you want to put to it. Bad and wrong are created, and there is this implicit assumption that we deserve to suffer for the terrible things that we've done, caught up in the past. And even if we do learn or find the lesson, there can be an energy of shame or guilt, a dense, heavy quality or feeling nature to those ideas and thoughts. Oh, I finally learned my lesson, we say to ourselves, and you can feel the shame or the density, the guilt in that. And there can be that density. However, when change and growth are stimulated by a clear desire to enrich our lives and the lives of others around us, even the whole world, when our intention is to awaken to conditioned patterns of speech and behavior, then we transcend the egoic states of good, bad, right, and wrong. As Rumi says, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I will meet you there. When the soul lies down on that green grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, languages, even the phrase each other no longer makes any sense. So before I move on to connecting to the body, I want to comment quickly on the violent qualities of the word should and its evil henchmen, the cousins must and need. As in, I should exercise more. I need to meditate longer. I must read that book. You see, we are not meant to succumb to the dictates of should, must, and need, whether they come from within or without. Look at all of the shoulds, musts, and needs that are imposed upon us. Believe it or not, when I was teaching high school, one of the classes that I taught was beginning debate. And that's actually a tactic to impose a burden on your opponent. It is actually a form of violence. And so, whether these musts, shoulds, and needs come from within or without, our actions will arise from an energy that is devoid of joy. When we do things out of obligation, because I must I need to, I have to. We remove our ability to imbue that action with the sacred. We remove the joy from what we're doing because we must do it, we have to do it. Be careful of those words. Look for them. Experience them when they land because they're heavy. They're heavy words. Whether they're spoken or thought, they'll carry a weight with them. So some homework this week is to be aware of the use of these stealthy little microaggressions. Do not beat yourself up for using them. I can see or hear myself right now. Oh, I gotta go over and pick it. Oh, don't. So then I start beating myself up for using these words, and then the whole thing just starts all over again. There's that violence coming in the back door, judging the judging. So don't beat yourself up for any of these things as you work with it. That's why this is a practice. Self-judgment, like all judgments, is a sad expression of unmet needs and values. Our practice invites us to bring awareness when we are doing something that is not enriching life, by evaluating moment by moment, bringing awareness moment by moment, in a way that inspires change, both in the direction of where we would like to go and out of respect and compassion for ourselves, rather than self-hatred, shame, guilt. And even if shame or guilt arises, and you'll feel it before you think it, our awareness can become so highly tuned as we practice regularly meditation each and every day, right? And so our attention, there's that imposition. Did you feel it? So every day as we become and fine-tune our ability to feel and be able to sense where thoughts are even coming from, as we begin to feel that, notice shame and guilt have that density to them. Now, the shame and guilt are not things to waller in for the next 2 or 3 days. They are not something that we take time that is unexamined time to look at shame and guilt or to just kind of experience it. No, instead, it is an opportunity to listen. What is it that this feeling, this mind state of shame is sharing with us? It is actually a beautiful messenger because there are no bad emotions. There's certainly some unpleasant ones, some painful ones, but they're not bad. That's falling back into judgment. That's falling back into a form of doing harm. Instead, when we welcome shame, embrace it. What is it that you are trying to tell me, my friend? Shame has a beautiful lesson. Shame is here to teach us that we are internalizing other people's beliefs about who you should be or who you are. And it welcomes you home to reconnect with yourself and what you value. Wow, I never knew shame was bringing me such a gift. And so was guilt. When guilt arises, when it comes up, again, it's this opportunity for playful curiosity to embrace guilt. As Rumi would say, sit down to tea with it. And when you do, guilt will share with you a beautiful teaching. Guilt shows us that you are still living in other people's expectations, or You are living in events of the past that happened exactly the way they needed to happen. As Eckhart Tolle tells us, we draw to us every experience we need for our soul's evolution. To look at the past through the eyes of the level of consciousness you are now is not fair and is a form of violence. And so when we awaken to the message that these amazing processes of life is sharing with us, and when we bring bare attention is awareness free of judgment, free of commentary, free of story making and decision. So when we bring bare attention to these feelings and unmet needs, we begin to see how our speech and behavior patterns run counter to our own needs and values. And we then open ourselves to the compassion that arises out of that new awareness. But when we're stuck judging, wallowing in shame and guilt, wishing it was not here, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to experience that awareness that is free of judgment, that invites a playful curiosity, that understands that these bodies have been conditioned over time and experiences. They're not who we are. We get to play with these for 70, 80, 90 years. But they're not who we are. Who we are was never born and will never die. Who we are is love, compassion, joy, and equanimity, the Brahma Viharas. And so there we soften. When we can be in this open place of just pure, clear self-inquiry, examining, questioning what arises, what thoughts, what words are used, without beating ourselves up. What a fertile ground for cultivating nonviolence. And so we soften. There is an ease of well-being. The speech patterns of this form are seen for what they are, attempts to meet a need. There is self-forgiveness. And I pulled that card from the 64 days of the season of nonviolence, self-forgiveness. And on this card it says, when you judge yourself, you tend to believe that who you are is what you have done or not done, that who you are is what you have or don't have. Knowing that who you are is greater than all these things. Today, forgive yourself for forgetting the good that is in you. Isn't that beautiful? So self-forgiveness, eventually, in our practice, it's a realization that there's actually nothing to forgive, because in each moment, we are doing the best we can with the level of consciousness that we are at. And that is our practice, not to change the world, but to love it as it is. Our practice is to constantly bring awareness to what arises in each moment. But if we spend all of our time judging, we miss the opportunities to grow, to transform, to awaken. From here, we can enter each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And finally, joy and playful curiosity as we move from the primal scream to the cosmic laugh. When the soul energy that motivates our inquiry is simply to make life wonderful for others and for ourselves, then even hard work has an element of play to it. Marshall Rosenberg, the author of Nonviolent Communication, has in his book a whole section that says, don't do anything that isn't play. He says he gets a lot of flack from people around that, but they're missing the deeper teaching there. The sense that anything and everything that we do can be imbued with the sacred, can be imbued with the joy of living, the joy of expressing for others and for ourselves, whatever that action is in that moment. And he goes on to say, and this is a very powerful and important practice, and I want to share it with you, and that is this idea of replacing language that implies lack of choice with language that acknowledges choice. Moving from I have to I choose to in this moment. I choose to experience loneliness. I choose to experience anger in this moment. This is a daily practice for me. I'm constantly going from realizing that I don't have to take mom to another doctor's appointment this week, but I choose to be there for my mother. I don't have to drop off my taxes. I choose to take them there and enjoy some sunshine and some fresh air while I'm going. I choose to take these there. I don't have to finish my mocha frappuccino. I choose to delight in its completion. And we joke about it, and it may seem like a small practice, but it can reshape our intentions moment by moment and bring mindfulness more deeply into our lives. Is it our intention to submit to some external obligation, to experience a lack of control in the world, or is it our intention to wake up? Is it our intention to actively participate in the unfolding of life moment by moment?
So let's just take a moment to receive those teachings. I often say that curiosity is the antidote to judgment. So maybe just bring some curiosity to how much do you trust your mind and body to absorb whatever needs to be absorbed from that Dharma talk, and trust that it'll be there when you need it rather than having to analyze it or grip onto it. And as we move into an abbreviated loving kindness practice, I invite you to take a conscious breath, and as you do, remember that this is in the family of practices known as heart practices, not as head practices, but emotion, cultivation of feelings coming from the heart. And so to touch into that, you may choose to actually create a sense of connectedness with the heart, maybe through the Anjali Mudra, the prayer hands in front of the heart, covering your heart with one or both hands, or perhaps holding one hand in the other in a sense of self-kindness and compassion. And drawing in a conscious breath, I invite you to imagine that breath in both a literal and metaphorical sense is bringing nourishment, support, Whatever your heart's deepest need is, it comes and arrives to you and fills your heart. And as you breathe out, you can send this same sentiment out into the world so that you are both receiving it for yourself and sending it out to others as you offer yourself and others this gift, these wishes of kindness. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at ease and happy. Drawing in another conscious breath, and this time emphasizing the visualization and the felt sense of the kindness that you have drawn into yourself with the in-breath, leaving and spreading out. Imagining a circle that spreads out just from your body to include yourself, and then expanding out to include others in this room, others in this building, others in this city, in this state, in this nation. So that every time you breathe in and breathe out, this circle of compassion and well wishes grows to encompass all beings on this entire globe, and perhaps even all beings known and unknown, in all universes known and unknown, as we send these wishes of goodwill. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be safe from inner and outer dangers. May we all be well in body and mind. May we all be at ease and happy. Drawing in another sustaining breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes and smile. As we move to the close of our service, I do encourage you, if you're able to stay afterwards for just a few brief announcements, many exciting things going on. In the true spirit of dana, which is the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services are given freely. In that same spirit, if you choose to give, please do so with a generous heart, not in return for anything that you have received, but so that others who may seek refuge may find it here in this community with these teachings. Dana boxes are located in the back of the temple, and we have a virtual Dana box online at templebuddhistcenter.com. I'm going to give a special thanks to all of our volunteers, Eric, the magician of the airwaves who connects us globally, so many others, Liz, our digital diva at home, who also helps connect us through the wide world, and Matt, who greets so many of us as we arrive each morning, each Sunday service, and so many. Please know that if I have left anyone out, it's through a shortcoming of my own brain power, not because I don't generously hold you in my heart, and thank you for your time and service. And of course, a special thanks to our regular ambassadors who give monthly electronically. It's not about the amount, it's that regular giving that helps us set a budget and keep things flowing. And a special thanks to Rochelle for the beautiful ambiance and energy she provides through music, and of course to Victor for his mentorship, friendship, and sharing of his experience and Dharma. So let's prepare now to close our service with the bodhicitta dedication. Together, may the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let us go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. So we open our eyes and open our hands. We shine our light out into the world. Namaste. And so again, thank you. Special thanks to each of you for your presence. You are what bring the community to the sacred community, the Sangha. So thank you, whether it's virtually or in person. We appreciate your presence. Just a few things to highlight. Again, reiterating that the 64 days of the Seasons of Nonviolence, you can download that from the Gandhi Institute for Nonviolence. So if you just Google any of those terms, you'll be able to download that PDF for free. And of course, please feel free to take the handouts that we have. We invite you to the post-service discussion. It's both virtual and in person, just down the hallway. And that starts at 10:15. And we have that every Sunday. We can talk about the Dharma talk and how it's connecting to your daily life. We want to invite everyone to the VSOC retreat, which is coming up in May. And this will be a 4-day retreat. Right now, it's virtual only, or is residential? Okay.
Residential, commuter, which was great, and also virtual. So there's 3 ways to attend.
Yeah, and so lots of options for that. Retreat service, if you've heard me talk about, is a retreat. Time is one of the 4 pillars of practice, right? Formal daily practice, retreat practice, and then giving support and getting support. So we encourage you to look into that if that suits your calendar, and that'll be beginning May 18th. Meditation 101 will be coming up in February, the 2nd Sunday of every month. That's a new thing we're offering. And it's not just for beginners, it's for new beginners, repeat beginners who just want an opportunity to maybe talk about what's happening with your practice with a teacher. Victor and I are taking turns offering that, and so we encourage you to take a look at that. And of course, we have so many monthly and weekly regular retreat or activities, different recovery offerings, other ways to support insight meditation, lots of things. We encourage you to take a look at our calendar or grab the weekly bulletin that's out in front. And of course, our humble lending library. Take a book, leave a book. This morning I did a random activity. I said, I'm going to go pull a random tricycle, know that whatever I get is what I need to know about this week. And the cover was Being Wrong, how it's the best thing that could happen to you. So that's what I'm receiving this week. Hope you find something useful as well. So with that, peace and blessings, and we hope you're ready for the best day ever. Go Chiefs.
Nice.